Matthew, when you were talking there about periods of your life when you were in flow and things were clicking for you, what were some of the big consistencies that you see over and over again when you were going through those periods?
One was I was getting enough sleep. I've always been a 9.5 hour guy if I can get it. I was getting enough sleep. Fatigue is one of my greatest enemies. Um, my the synapses of my brain don't work as well. I get short circuited here if I don't have enough rest. So getting enough rest. Um, who I was hanging out with. I had times where I would go to one bar with one group of friends, have the same drink and the same amount of drinks, but wake up much more hungover than when I went to this other bar with another group of friends and had the same drink and the same amount of drinks. So I was like, well, why am I hungover? Well, it wasn't really the drinks. It was who I was hanging out with. What were our conversations about? Maybe we were gossiping too much, talking, having a good time at other people's expense who weren't there. That gave me a hangover. More so than going and having the same drink, same amount of drinks with friends who we were talking about good stuff, constructive stuff at our own expense. How to be better men. What's life about? What's happening? Great conversations, not objectifying people. You know, and so that was some of the things. Also reading. I had this book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, which was my companion. And I read that morning, noon, and night every day for 10 months. And I've done it 2 full times. And that, as my own personal ritual that I was committed to, really kept me anchored in a time where I'm young 20s. I'm going through figuring out who I am still, trying to look for opportunities, trying to enjoy my college life at the same time, keeping an eye out for what's this really mean? Where are we going from here? That book kept me really, really anchored because it was me and mine. It was my secret. I was only reading it with me. I didn't read it to anybody else. And I read it morning, noon, and night, 10 months straight, and then did it again. And so that book really helped me keep my bearing. That book was The Greatest Salesman in the World. What else? I started to realize, okay, maybe my college education and my GPA, especially after I went to film school, maybe my GPA doesn't really it matter as much for where I'm going to go. But I understand that mom and dad are paying for my education. If I make grades, they're happier. If they're happier when I go home for holidays, we have a lot better time at the holidays. So little things like that, where I was like, this class, I don't think really matters for what I'm going to be doing when I get out of school and go on with my life. But let's make the grade. There's delayed gratification in that because I'll be getting along with my parents better, even at that most base level. But I also at the same time started to notice very quickly, oh, there were classes that I was taking when I was in film school. I was like, I'm learning more. I learned more when I started making C's instead of when I was making A's in a lot of my college classes. Here's what I mean. I started taking internships. I was going outside of the classroom getting practical education in storytelling, in film production. A lot of that meant sometimes I was skipping class. I was running off to San Antonio and Houston and Dallas in the middle of the day, in the middle of class, because my pager would go up because I had a possible audition to be in a music video. I was chasing things that I was like, oh, this could help you when you get out. And I had a talk with the dean of the school and my teachers who were not happy about me missing classes. And I told them what I just told you. I said, I'm chasing down the practical stuff that you're teaching me. I'll be here for the major exams, but man, if can I pass? Well, I ended up making C's. That last year that I made C's, I learned a lot more than when I made the A's and was just like, no, I can't go. I don't need to go chase anything outside class. I just have to be a bookworm. And I was a study bug. I got into film school, not because I had a piece of art. I got into film school because I had a 3.82 GPA. I mean, I loved A's. But I started to realize that while those were important, And I think this is important today. And I'm by no way telling any youth out there, hey, don't worry about your grades. What I am saying is today, be looking for the practical, experiential way of learning and try the sooner you can get into that in school, even back down to high school or even junior high. If you can get an intern, that 3 weeks of work I had on the set of Days Confused taught me more than 2 years of film school because it was practical. It was there. I was in it. It was a privileged position to be in. But anytime we can find something in real life, even if you got to go do it for free, go do it. Yes, there's value in what you learn from the book, but also if you can get the experiential learning out there in life. So I was chasing that down. It starting in my junior year of college.